Stop manually designing your carousel post every day. If you're going into Canva and you're redesigning the same exact carousel posts every day, just changing the texts and the backgrounds, you're wasting time. Today I'm going to show you how to build a fully autonomous content machine. We're going to be creating an automation inside of make.com that pulls predetermined content text from Google Sheets and generates AI images, and then uses a tool called Placid to generate beautiful multi-slide carousel complete with AI generated backgrounds and perfectly formatted text. We're going to be using a few tools inside of make.com: Google Sheets, Google Drive, Placid, and any AI image generator that you please. Let's jump into it. So this is the tool that's going to be generating our carousel images. You go in here and you create predetermined templates. This is going to be used directly inside of make.com, but in order to use it inside of make.com, you first need to create your templates. I'm just going to show you around, show you how to create a template, and show you what some of my templates look like. Let's go to this first one. This is a health carousel image generation template. I have 4 templates. This is what my header looks like. It doesn't look that great right now, but this is kind of what the common headers look like nowadays on social media. You got the header here. Ideally, I would have a logo right here. Both of these are AI generated. I haven't used this template in a very long time. It definitely needs some updating. This is what another body looks like. Essentially, this template right here is pulling scientific studies on health and body optimization and putting them into these different templates right here. Let's go check out another one. This is the example I'm going to show you today. Essentially, it's just creating rankings on different destinations. We're going to be using the square image templates here, but as you can see, if we actually go into one of these, this is where an image is automatically generated and inserted into here, as well as the large image in the background. I have different placements of text here, so I'm always going to be using top something, so that's going to be dynamic over here. I have the middle statement, you can't miss. Sometimes I'm going to want to switch up that middle statement. So instead of saying top 10 places you can't miss in California, I would say top 10 places you need to visit in California. And then you have the location statement down below in California or in Europe, in the United States, whatever it is. The dynamic variables are represented by these little dynamic circles here. So any variable over here that has a little circle, it is dynamic. The header image is dynamic. The transparent gradient, which is just the darkness going down, that's always going to be there. I don't need to ever replace that with some other object in the image. It's always going to say, so I'm not going to make that dynamic. The header line right there that you see, that's always going to be there. The logo is always going to be there. You can have that be dynamic if you're generating for multiple companies or businesses and you want the logo to be different. I could have it as dynamic. All I have to do is press this right here. Places, I'm always going to leave that as places. But yeah, it's pretty easy. You can add text over here, shapes, image layers like here in the background. A lot of this template right here and a lot of the templates I use are things that I see on social media that I think looks good and I try to replicate that, or things on Canva that I see. Like this transparent gradient, I actually took it from Canva. I put it onto a project and I exported it with a transparent background, so then I can go ahead and add it directly into this project here. Same with this swipe. That swipe is directly from Canva. So a lot of these, that's a little hack, is taking some of your objects or things inside your carousel images from Canva, transporting it over. You need to make sure that it's a transparent background when you transport it over, or you would add swipe and it would be a completely white background taking up the whole entire image. So that's a little tip right there. Let's exit out of there. But yeah, this is the templates that we're going to work with. We're going to work with this one right here, and we're going to work with this one here that names the destination and gives 3 experiences at that single destination, where we're adding an AI generated image to the background. You don't have to add an AI generated image to the background, but for this automation, I'm going to show you how to add the AI generated image instead of an image that you take off the internet or something. So this is Placid. It's a pretty cool tool. I believe it's about $20 a month. Yep, so $19 a month. They might do a free trial. I'm not sure. I've been using it for a long time now. So the next step in creating this automation that automatically generates carousel images for you every single day is to actually create a Google Sheet with predetermined text that the automation is automatically going to pull from a single row and add to your Placid. So if we go back to the Placid templates here, let's take a look at the header. So when we run a row, we're going to get top 5 is going to be inserted where top 10 is. We're going to get to visit in, that's going to be inserted into the middle line instead of you can't miss. And then in California is going to be replaced by Vietnam, or California is going to be replaced by Vietnam. And then for the body image, that's going to be this one. We're going to have the destination inserted here. We're going to have the number inserted, and then we're going to have the top 3 experiences for that specific location or destination. And the beauty of building it like this is you can get exactly what you want. If we have it be completely autonomous, sometimes you're going to get certain text that you're not going to like. So this allows you to basically decide what you want to see on the carousel images before you actually generate it. And it's super easy to create something like this. Basically, just go to ChatGPT, tell them the exact columns, what each of the columns are, and what you're looking for. And you can actually get ChatGPT to output multiple rows at a time that I can just go ahead and copy and paste directly in and then edit. So this is really easy. It looks like a lot. It really didn't take a lot of time. This column right here, that basically determines if I've already used this row to create a carousel post, so that once it has been sent, it'll never be sent again. I have make.com looking for the next available row that has an empty cell in this column right here. So the next one that we're going to be running is top 6 places to visit in Argentina. Number 1, Buenos Aires. We got Mendoza, and on, and then it talks about the 3 best things to do at each of those destinations, top 3 experiences that are just automatically inserted. So pretty simple stuff at this point. All right, and now we are finally inside of make.com. This is what this specific automation looks like, where we are scraping a Google Sheet. That is the Google Sheet here. We are searching the next row that has a cell in this column empty. So in this case, it's Buenos Aires. The next thing that happens is that a folder is created inside a Google Drive. That's where all the images are going to be added automatically. So once the automation is done running, I'm going to have all the images that were generated inserted into a brand new folder. If we check out what that looks like, I have a not published folder here, and then this is what a newly generated folder looks like. So let's peep what this automation run looked like. So I had the background images generated from an AI generator. So these are different destinations in the UK. That looks like London. I think I saw Edinburgh. And then this is what the image looks like finished. So not bad. I would definitely make some changes now. This is from a past carousel image generation template. But once the folder is created, an array is created from the text of the Google Sheets. It is grouping the destinations and their activities together. As you can see, we'll go here. We have London and then the 3 experiences. Those are grouped together. Edinburgh, all of the experiences grouped together. And it's going to iterate through each of these destinations in order to create one carousel image for each of these. And then I have an empty one set up just in case I wanted to add a 6th destination. And then we are parsing through that created JSON here, and it's going to iterate through each of them. What we are doing is we are incrementing. The increment function is outputting 1 and then 2 and then 3. That is actually going to be used for the number right here. It's an easy way to do it. It resets after every run. So after it goes through 5 times and the automation stops, it'll reset and automatically be set back to 1. As you can see here, I have a sleep. This just makes it so that I don't abuse stability. That's my AI image generator. You can use GPT for this. You can use Nano Banana, whatever you want for this. I'm sleeping for 3 seconds. So this is where the image is generated. I'm not going to click into this because it has some passwords and stuff hooked up to the HTTP module. So I'm not going to go and click in that, but have ChatGPT help you with whatever image you're trying to generate and have it match whatever style or brand you're going after. We are then uploading that stability generated image. This is what it looks like. So the image is stored in all this data. This is a lot of data, as you can see here. That image is uploaded to Google Drive, and then it's taken from Google Drive, and the image is generated through the Placid module here. As you can see, these are all my templates. I have the destination template selected, and then the connection. This is also the folder that we were looking at earlier. What folder is selected here? So we have the destination rankings, and then the template inside of the destination rankings is selected. We have the header image, that is the Google Drive image that we uploaded to it. So we have this start, which is universal across all of Google Drive images, and then I have the file ID, which I pulled from the uploaded file run right here. I have the destination text here, the number here, that is from the increment function. I have the experience, and the name that you see here is exactly what I have in here. As you can see, experience 1, 2, 3, number X, destination, header image, and only the dynamic variables are going to be seen inside of the Placid module here. So I have everything mapped out. As you can see, most of it is being pulled from the parse JSON, but I'm also pulling from the increment function, and then obviously the image. And then we are retrieving that file. This is a caveat with the Placid image generation, is basically an HTTP call to extract that image via the URL that is generated from this run. And then that URL or the HTTP file is then uploaded to Google Drive exactly how it appeared here. So it's outputted as a big chunk of data, and then Google Drive is adding it in there. And then once all 5 have been run, we have the array aggregator to stop the run from exceeding here. So if I didn't have this here, we'd have 5 runs go through here as well. So it wouldn't stop until it got to the end. But because we have this array aggregator here that's connected up to the parse JSON, that's the start of this aggregation, it's going to stop at the array aggregator at this point until all 5 runs are made. Then it's going to be passed through, and this is when we are generating the header image, and then you could potentially have a closing image here. And then the final thing that I'm doing is I am updating a cell. I'm updating the status cell so that we never run this row ever again. Let's give it a try and see what our results are here. We got Argentina is being run here. It takes about 5 minutes. So it finished running. Took a little more than 5 minutes, probably 6 or 7. But let's go see the results. Here is the newly created folder and all of our images. These are the background images here. That's for the header, and then these are for the other images associated with each destination. Let's check out the carousel header. Pretty solid, not bad. And then all the different destinations as well. So this was a pretty basic template right here, but you can go as advanced as you would like here. This automation is for repeatable templates that you want to generate over and over. The really big accounts on social media pretty much post the same sort of templates all the time. So if you're going to be doing that, this automation is the perfect tool to save you many hours a week. It can be set up to run whenever you want. When I had this running, it was running probably every morning, and I was running through different automations. I can show you what some of the other carousel image automations look like. I have some more advanced ones where I'm actually uploading image links to the Google Sheet, and instead of an AI generated image, I'm actually using a real life image. Let's look at the threads carousel here. This is a little bit more complex. And essentially these two routes are based on whether or not there's an actual image being generated or not. So here we have an image URL which is taken from the Google Sheets. I'll show you what the template looks like here. This is the thread. This was another kind of trendy thing where I'm basically generating stories about different destination and travel, and generating some of the images and also pulling some of the images off the internet to then go and create. So this is a more complex version, but you can get pretty creative with this automation, and it's definitely a huge time saver. And just like that, I have hours taken off my social media image generation and content creation. If you found this helpful, subscribe to the channel. I'm posting high quality automation content just like this every week. So hit like, please subscribe, and I will see you next week.